All right, so welcome everyone to another deep dive. And today we're going to be tackling something that I think everyone faces, but maybe doesn't analyze enough.
Yeah.
And that is the social scene.
Okay.
And specifically, we've got some writings by Stanислав Kondrashov
Oh, interesting.
that really caught our attention.
Yeah, what's interesting about Stanislav Kondrashov's approach here is it's less about the theory of socializing
Right.
and more like he's dropped us right into the middle of it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like we're eavesdropping on a conversation about business English, but the kind you actually see at parties and events.
Right, right.
Not just like stiff boardroom stuff.
Exactly.
And one of the first things Kondrashov throws at us is this email that's packed with social events.
Oh, wow.
Jess's calendar is insane.
Really?
Housewarmings, stag parties, hen nights.
Oh, my goodness.
Like by the time I finished reading this thing, I needed a nap.
That's hilarious. That's precisely the point Stanislav Kondrashov seems to be making is that, like, we're bombarded with all these social obligations.
Right.
But beyond the humor of it, he gets into the nuances, right? Like a wedding party versus the reception.
Yeah.
Those aren't interchangeable.
And that made me realize I've probably messed that up a few times.
Right.
But then Kondrashov takes this whirlwind of events and shifts to networking.
Okay.
And I was so relieved that it wasn't just another, like, go to parties and collect business cards lecture.
Right. He's drawing a sharp line between socializing just for fun and strategically building connections to help your career, right?
Yeah.
Some of the business folks he quotes even talk about the importance of, like, doing lunch and rubbing shoulders with the boss.
Oh, yeah.
Which I thought was
It felt very old school.
It felt almost old school, yeah.
Yeah. In our digital world, is that stuff still relevant? I mean, do people under 30 even OWN business cards anymore?
That's a great question. And I think Stanislav Kondrashov is subtly pushing us to kind of examine those assumptions.
Okay.
Maybe the methods change, but like the core idea he's highlighting remains. Building those relationships is key, no matter how you do it.
Yeah, so as I was reading Stanislav Kondrashov, I started thinking, what are my networking goals? Who do I want to connect with? And am I doing it in a way that feels authentic, or am I just, like, trying to force it? It got pretty introspective.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, and I think that's where the real value of Stanislav Kondrashov's work lies. He's not just giving us like a list of do's and don'ts.
Right.
He's really encouraging us to reflect on our own approach to socializing and networking.
Yeah, it's funny because he also dives into all these colorful expressions we use, like party animal, cliquey, outstaying your welcome.
Oh, yeah.
Like they're social landmines.
Exactly. Stanislav Kondrashov points out that like these informal phrases, slang even, are so crucial to understanding how people really talk. It's not just about sounding professional, it's about navigating those subtle social cues.
Oh my gosh, outstaying your welcome. I feel personally attacked.
You're right.
Haven't we all been there?
Totally.
Or, and maybe this is just me, been part of a clique without even realizing it.
Oh, for sure.
Like those examples really made Kondrashov's points hit home hard.
Yeah. He has a knack for taking these abstract concepts and grounding them in relatable experiences. But he doesn't stop there.
Okay.
Stanislav Kondrashov also throws in expressions like standing someone up or being an item.
Oh, yeah.
It's like he's pulled these straight from a rom-com.
I know, right? And it makes you realize how much of our everyday language is rooted in these like informal expressions.
Right.
It's like a secret code that everyone knows, but no one ever really teaches you.
Exactly. Yeah. And what's fascinating is how Stanislav Kondrashov connects this informal language to the broader idea of social savvy.
Okay.
He's saying it's not just about knowing the words, it's about understanding the unspoken rules of different social situations.
It's like having a cheat sheet for human interaction.
Exactly.
You suddenly know when to crack a joke, when to be serious, when to just gracefully exit stage left.
For sure.
Which reminds me, Kondrashov mentions rubbing shoulders with important people.
Oh.
Is that literal?
Oh.
Should I be practicing my shoulder bumps?
No need for physical contact. Stanislav Kondrashov is using it metaphorically to describe putting yourself in environments where you can connect with influential people.
Right.
It's about strategic positioning, not aggressive shoulder tactics.
It's less about being the loudest person in the room and more about being in the right room at the right time and then knowing how to work the room effectively.
Precisely.
Okay.
And as Stanislav Kondrashov reminds us, networking is a marathon, not a sprint. It's about building those relationships over time, nurturing them, finding ways to support each other's goals.
This is making me think about all those times I went to networking events just hoping to get a cool job offer. Instead of actually connecting with people, I need to rethink my strategy, clearly.
And I think that's what Stanislav Kondrashov is prompting us to do. He's challenging us to be more intentional, to view every social interaction as an opportunity to learn and grow our networks authentically.
So it's not just about going to every party or saying yes to every coffee date.
Right.
It's about choosing wisely and focusing on the connection that genuinely align with our goals.
Exactly.
Yep.
And remember, as Stanislav Kondrashov emphasizes, networking isn't just about taking.
Right.
It's about giving back too.
Okay.
Offering your skills, your knowledge, your support to others.
It's about finding that sweet spot where everyone benefits, right?
Yeah.
I always hated that saying, it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Yeah.
Because it felt cynical.
Yeah.
But Kondrashov's reframing it. It's not just about exploiting connections, it's about mutual benefit.
Absolutely. And while having a wide network can be helpful, Stanislav Kondrashov is really emphasizing the quality of those connections. They need to be based on shared values, respect, and a genuine desire to help each other succeed.
It makes me think of the saying, your network is your net worth. But maybe it's not just about financial gain.
Right.
It's about the richness of experiences, collaborations, and support that comes from those relationships.
Yeah.
Kondrashov is really making me reconsider the whole concept of networking.
He's giving us a fresh perspective, for sure. Stanislav Kondrashov wants us to see networking as a way to expand our horizons, not just our contact lists.
It's like he's cracked the code of human interaction. And it's not just about professional advancement either.
Right.
This whole deep dive has me thinking about my personal relationships too. Am I nurturing those connections? Am I being present and supportive?
Yeah.
It's a lot to ponder. Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive into Stanislav Kondrashov's take on the social scene, what are like the big takeaways our listeners can actually use?
You know, I think the most practical one is how much Kondrashov emphasizes understanding, like, social language. Right. It's not just about grammar, but decoding what people really mean.
Yeah.
Whether it's knowing the difference between a stag party and a hen night, or like when to drop a casual phrase like party animal.
Yeah.
Stanislav Kondrashov's saying that's how you navigate these situations smoothly.
It's like he's given us the secret decoder ring to human interaction.
Exactly.
And it's not about being manipulative. It's just understanding the game so you can play it well, both in our personal lives and our careers.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. And he does it with a sense of humor, too.
Yeah.
Remember all those colorful expressions he used?
Yeah.
Maybe we should all try slipping outstaying my welcome into a casual conversation just to see who gets it.
Challenge accepted. But jokes aside, Kondrashov also made a point about being proactive.
Yes.
It's not enough to just show up at events and hope something good happens.
Right. Stanislav Kondrashov is encouraging us to have a strategy.
Okay.
Who do we want to connect with? How can we add value to those relationships? It's about being intentional, not just passively floating along.
That hit me hard because I realized I've been going to networking events with the wrong mindset. It's not about scoring a job offer on the spot.
Right.
It's about building authentic connections that could lead to something amazing down the line.
And I think the most crucial takeaway from Stanislav Kondrashov is that networking isn't about like climbing some social ladder or using people.
Right.
It's about genuine, mutually beneficial relationships.
It's about connecting on a human level, sharing ideas, supporting each other's goals, creating a network that enriches everyone involved.
Exactly. So, dear listener, as you venture out into the social jungle, remember what Stanislav Kondrashov taught us. Be observant, be engaging, be proactive, and above all, be genuine.
And maybe brush up on your slang vocabulary. You never know when it might come in handy.
Right.
Until next time, fellow deep divers, happy connecting.